Most mobile. This is the Big Ten on ESPN. Chrysler Center is full despite the weather outside. Number 5 Michigan at home in a rivalry game, 19-1 overall, 8-1 in Big Ten play, taking on the Buckeyes of Ohio State.
Make some noise!
What a time to be a fan of Michigan basketball. Dave Fleming, Dan Duckich, Molly McGrath with you here from Ann Arbor, where we are underway. Ohio State has the ball first. Buckeyes coming off a big road win. This would be even bigger.
Well, they lost 5 in a row. All of a sudden, they turned it around and turned it around quick at Nebraska with a 10-point win.
Their big man Caleb Wesson steps out and hits a 3 to start the game.
Kind of a page out of John Beilein's book. You're going to see Teskey on top, looking to shoot threes for Michigan, but Caleb Wesson, 33% shooter from there.
So the Wolverines have the ball for the first time. Michigan, after a week where they didn't play quite as well as they have for most of this year, bounced back with a huge win in Bloomington against Indiana. There's John Teskey, and they'll count the basket and win it anyway.
We're going to talk about this on the court. Michigan with John Teskey up top. The guy guarding him is the most important guy defensively. That time, Ohio State chose to switch. C.J. Jackson got caught against the much bigger Teskey.
Wesson down low. He had Simpson on him. Teskey came over to help. The 3 from the opposite side. Offensive rebound. Wesson got knocked off balance, scored anyway.
Yeah, funny no call, but Wesson starting out great. He went to the backboard. You said it. He had Simpson, no block out. He just went and got it and finished.
So a good start here. It's just a couple possessions. There's Jordan Poole open. Came up way short on the 3. Part of the challenge when you play the Wolverines, especially here in Ann Arbor, hanging in the game early.
Oh, well, halftime, they rout you. They just went 20-2 against Indiana. Now, I know that was on the road, but if it's close at half, it generally is close at the end of the game.
That was not a very good pass.
It was a lazy, kind of no-look pass. You can't do that in this game.
There's Jallo, who's moved into the starting lineup the last few games. Kyle Young, one of the Buckeyes' most important players, out for a while.
He's been so good, Kyle Young. He's a guy that could play Teskey. He's a guy that could play Iggy, the kid with the ball. He's a guy that can play a lot of positions. Another switch, you see the mismatch underneath.
Razdakis lost the ball momentarily. Now double team with the shot clock winding down. Somehow found an opening, but missed his shot.
That switch is what Minnesota did to Michigan here. Michigan won on a last-second shot, but the game was in the 50s. Pretty good by Chris Holtmann so far, switching all the high post stuff.
Wesson, nice pass to C.J. Jackson.
Well, the double came. Michigan got running at the ball. C.J. Jackson didn't stay, and he went to the rim.
Well, everything going through the sophomore big man for the Buckeyes in the early minutes. Charles Matthews to Teskey outside. He can definitely hit shots from there. Simpson on the drive. He loves that little running hook.
And makes it every time.
He loves it.
It's unbelievable. Only guy in college basketball that hooks it like that.
It might be my favorite shot in college hoops.
I agree. Absolutely my favorite shot. Everybody can shoot threes nowadays.
Not many can do that.
Never. Best hooker since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Jallo. Andre Wesson, older brother of Caleb. Shot clock winding down, and Ohio State didn't know it.
Didn't know it. Hey, nobody hooks it like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar anymore, but my man here, Xavier Simpson, all 5'10" of them. That's a fading, running, 8-foot hook.
Now, I have to say that when we first started watching Xavier Simpson play at this level, I never thought you'd be comparing him to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Where did it come from?
That's a real, they practice it all summer. All summer. All summer, he and his dad worked and added to his game. That's what great players do. They add to their games.
Poole against the big man. Air ball. Teskey right there, though, and he missed the putback. Jallo for three.
That's a
you
bad
could tell
shot.
that was way off the mark.
And then C.J. Jackson didn't rotate back.
So that was not a highlight moment for the Buckeyes on either end. Still with a 1-point lead. Wesson was open for a minute, but then he finds Muhammad from the corner coming off a career game.
You saw what I saw, right? Wesson was open for a second, but the help was coming from behind. C.J. Jackson pass fake, froze the defense, skipped it to Luther Muhammad. I love Luther Muhammad. Look at him getting after Poole.
He came ready to play defense at the college level.
Yes, he did. First game, Cincinnati, at Cincinnati. Dominated it on the defensive end.
Now the offense is starting to catch up. Big game at Nebraska. Matthews drives, rejected by Caleb Wesson, and Muhammad got on the floor to get the loose ball.
How good's Wesson been so far, both ends?
Really good.
Yeah.
Great sign for the Buckeyes. Now on the block, one-on-one against Teske. And Wesson just overpowered him.
Teske gave him room, and Wesson didn't settle. He went into the body of Teske, and when you go into the body of a big guy, they cannot jump. They get knocked back and can't get up. Great by Wesson. 2-3 here, second time.
Now the zone was effective for Ohio State on the defensive end against Nebraska, needing to snap that losing streak. They did. Poole inside the three-point arc. He's missed all three of his shots.
Man, they set a nice action there, a little ball screen.
Poole, though, hustles back on defense. So you miss a shot, make something good happen on the other end. Buckeyes defense recovered. We've had almost uninterrupted action. We've also had a lot of those. Teske's slow to get up. He's hurting a little bit.
I think that ball got influenced by Wesson.
Loses it out of bounds. Well, hopefully Teske's okay. We got our first timeout. Be back after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Attention all Michigan students, for just the third time in the last 40 years, the University of Michigan is canceling classes tomorrow and Thursday.
Bomb drop!
As for the next 2 hours, have some fun and make some noise!
You can tell their Michigan students are thrilled that classes are canceled over the next 2 days because this week marks the beginning of midterm exams. And a bunch of students I spoke with told me all of their tests have been pushed back. So instead of studying, they're here. And you can tell with the student section, it started to fill up 4 hours before tip-off, and nearly 500 wristbands for the Maze Rage were passed out, nearly double the normal amount. And the university is taking precautions because of the cold and wind chill. The athletics department arranged for buses to take all of the students back to the main campus after the game, Dave.
Thank you, Molly. Can't make it to midterms. Could find the giraffe suit, though, and get into the student section.
Hey, Dave, I got the giraffe suit. You wear the all-yellow thing, and let's go to the game.
Sounds like a plan. Matthews got fouled. Back to action here. Just over 6 minutes in. Ohio State with a 6-point lead. NBA Wednesday doubleheader this week. Starts in Washington, D.C. Pacers and the Wizards. Your Pacers.
And our Pacers got blasted last night by Golden State, 132-100. But, man, I feel so bad for Victor Oladipo.
Yeah.
He is out for the year. Quad separated from the knee. It's a horrible injury. And thoughts go to Vic because I know he watches everything that's basketball on television.
And then the Jazz are playing the Trailblazers. After that.
And somebody suggested the Jazz should trade their name to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. Give him the name back. Anthony Davis wants a trade. He wants out of New Orleans.
Yes.
And the Jazz is historically, it came from came from New Orleans to Utah. They kept the name. Give the name back. Take Anthony Davis.
Utah, beautiful place. You think of mountains, you think of skiing, you think of all kinds of stuff. Maybe not Jazz.
I don't think so.
I could be in favor of that. I think that New Orleans would want something else.
Possibly.
Like maybe Donovan Mitchell. Dwayne Washington, freshman, Shoots a contested three, in and out. Caleb Wesson has been everywhere in the early minutes.
Caleb Wesson came here to compete, and Caleb Wesson came here to win. Got to get timeout. No.
Oh, somehow Ohio State keeps possession of the first foul called against Michigan. Now Chris Holtman's second year in Columbus with the Buckeyes, the Big Ten Coach of the Year last year. 12-1 start this season, and then a few struggles.
Well, they haven't been able to score, Dave. They only, in a 5-game losing streak, they only topped 70 points one time. And let's be honest, and you got to be able to get the ball in the bucket, and that has been a struggle. Caleb Wesson is the leading scorer, but there really hasn't been anybody that consistently shot the basketball. This kid can do it, just hasn't gone for him.
And this is his second straight shot. Rebound Wolverines, down 4 with the ball. Caleb Wesson now on the bench. Ohio State goes with a much smaller look. Brazdakis will go to the free throw line. That's Jaden Ledee, another one of the Ohio State freshmen from Houston, Texas. His first foul.
He's just a hard-working kid, Ledee, but Brazdakis, you have to square your shoulders because it's how you're strong when you play defense. Brazdakis is so powerful. If you give him an angle, he is big, he is strong, he uses his body to move you off, and then you foul him.
Does everything right-handed except for shoot a basketball. He's a lefty shooting. He was born in Lithuania, a basketball-crazy country. Grew up, though, in Canada, another basketball-crazy country. 4 times already the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. He's not just one of the best freshmen in the league, he is one of the best players already in the Big Ten.
And one of the toughest guys. Showed me a lot in Bloomington. They were up early, Michigan was. The lead was cut to 9, and Iggy hit 2 monster threes to quiet 17,000, and then after hitting the threes, let the entire state of Indiana know. It is impressive.
Not shy. The guy they call Iggy here in Ann Arbor. Where will the offense come from? There's the transfer of Woods. Just kind of wildly threw that one up, but Ledee was there to score.
Ledee's a great story. Didn't play in the first game. They were trying to find him minutes. He kept working in practice. When he has gotten a chance, he's been productive just by hustle.
That's a foul against C.J. Jackson. And Chris Holtman's not happy with his senior. Totally unnecessary foul.
Well, they're in a 2-3 zone. Last thing you want to do in a 2-3 zone is on top when there's no action is just foul a guy. You don't want Michigan in the bonus.
The problem for Chris Holtman and the Buckeyes is against this kind of Michigan team, you just have to play almost perfect here in Ann Arbor. Really, anywhere you play the Wolverines.
And you can't have a let-up. You just cannot have a let-up.
Well, for those of you joining us from that thrilling win for number 3 Virginia, number 5 Michigan against one of their hoops rivals here in Ann Arbor, Dave Fleming, Dan Dockich, Molly McGrath. Ohio State off to a very quick start. Caleb Wesson, their super talented sophomore big man, sort of keying things. He's on the bench at the moment. His older brother, Andre Wesson, knocks down a 3.
He has been so solid, Andre Wesson, in that offense. Little screen slip. And when he is able to step into his shot, he's as good as any from the top of the key.
Jordan Poole, catch and shoot, too strong. Long rebound right to Xavier Simpson. Well, the Buckeyes have used this zone defense for some possessions these last couple games. Poole's going to keep shooting. And at least in the early minutes, he's going to keep missing. Brandon Johns, another offensive rebound for the Wolverines. So the possession continues. Simpson over to Poole. Try it again. Yes. Keep shooting.
Keep shooting. Something good might happen. The one guy you've got to shade in a zone is Poole, and Washington left him inexcusable.
Poole shot 3 threes on that possession alone. And now an Ohio State turnover with maybe a numbers advantage. Isaiah Livers spins, got fouled. So that'll take us to a timeout. If you're with us on ESPN News, we're shifting over after the timeout. Buckeyes with a 2-point lead. Well, back here on a frigid night in Ann Arbor, number 5 Michigan with a packed house again here at Chrysler Center, down 2, just about halfway through the first half. Dave Fleming, Dan Dockich, happy to have you back with us. All right, it's clear the Wolverines are one of the best teams in the country. Pretty good start, though, for the Buckeyes. How do they hang with Michigan?
First, they don't turn it over 5 times. They've already done that. That has to be it. This has to stay at 5 to 8, no more. And then they got to keep shooting the basketball. They've moved it, and they've gotten good shots. And lastly, Caleb Wesson has to play both ends. Offensively, he's been fantastic. And defensively, it is the toughest position to play, playing the high post against John Teske and all the things that John Beilein has him do.
And, of course, those numbers we showed were forced turnovers. So it's Ohio State, the team that has turned it over 5 times. Caleb Wesson back on the floor. He was the best player on the floor in the early minutes of this game.
He was the hardest playing guy. He went at Teske. It looked personal to me. And now, okay, a lot of guys come out to play the first 10 minutes of a game. You got 30 minutes on the road. It's not always going to go right for you. Caleb Wesson, the most important guy on the floor, particularly defensively for Ohio State.
1 of 2 free throws for Michigan. Number 5 in the country. A little blip at Wisconsin. Didn't play great, especially down the stretch. You were there. Bounce back in Bloomington, though. A lob play, and Jallo could not finish it. Saved, but to Michigan.
That's basically another turnover.
Iggy down the court had it stripped away. Brazdeikis loses it. That's the first Wolverines turnover. Keyshawn Woods down low, and Wesson with the left hand.
Yeah, because Woods thought he was going to be open for a shot, but being a right-hander, Brazdeikis was going to come and block it. He recognized it and got a posting Wesson. Perfect play off a high ball screen by Woods.
Get Caleb Wesson the ball.
I'm telling you, he is competing hard. Hardest I've ever seen him compete.
That's a good sign against this super talented Michigan team that is so tough at home. Livers wanted to shoot a 3. He's kind of their offense off the bench. Simpson was fouled before the shot. This is what you were talking about on the other end.
Yeah, just a little ball screen, and watch Wesson step in hard. Now that's a hard step in, and the pass is away from the defense. Post kids, don't step in with your toes or your upper body. Step in with your hip and go into the defensive guy, and you'll move him, you'll get position, you'll score.
John Teske is a huge dude. He had no chance.
Huge. Like, you stand next to John Teske, it's intimidating.
Now, so far, those threes, for the most part, are not going down for Michigan. That was Charles Matthews. Had a good look. Justin Arns on the floor for the first time.
In this lineup, you better get the ball to Wesson, or you better get Muhammad driving. Because this lineup's a turnover waiting to happen.
Luther Muhammad coming off his career best offensive game. Shot clock winding down. Got cut off. Somebody's got to shoot. Will they? No. Here come the Wolverines.
Trying to steal minutes if you're Chris Holtman, but you can't go long with this lineup. No offense, stop it.
That time the hook didn't work.
First time I've seen him shoot the hook from anywhere other than the right side.
Here's a 3. Right side good.
There are 2 guys you've got to guard for Michigan at the 3-point line and not leave. One is Poole, the other is Livers.
Wesson found a little opening, missed the mid-range jumper. Orange, good hustle. Offensive rebounding factor on both ends in the early minutes. Jallo down low. Wesson a little more comfortable here against the shot blocker. Teske rejects it. Wesson bullies his way to the offensive rebound and missed another one.
That's all right. He is working hard. That's a bad foul. You cannot call that foul against a guy that's working as hard as Wesson. All right, we're going to show you pregame. Xavier Simpson works on this thing. That's how you work on a hook. You put it over your shoulder, and he gets rewarded right here with the best hooker I've seen since Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, our women's Thursday night showcase this week, number 2 UConn in Louisville. Be great atmosphere. Number 3 Cardinals, 7 Eastern on ESPN, on the ESPN app. Katie Samuelson having another great year for UConn. Number 2, not number 1. Baylor has that honor at the moment.
I saw at one point UConn was number 3. I didn't know how to add.
Yeah, wait a minute. That can't be right.
No, typo.
Well, Michigan, a team that has an argument for number 1. They do.
I totally think they do. I thought their resume, based on how they not only beat people but thumped them. And now when you look at the win at Villanova, I know it was a different Villanova team, but that doesn't matter to these rankings. Michigan has a real argument for number 1.
A little bit of pressure from Ohio State. Eli Brooks in the game for the first time. Poole, he will keep doing that.
I don't get it. I don't get leaving Poole. Arns was there, and he dropped back to let C.J. Jackson come over. I don't get it. You stay with Poole until he gives it up, period.
I don't care if he's missing shots.
No.
You got to guard him. This is the first lead for the Wolverines. Jallo, that was a creative way to enter the ball, and it drew a foul.
What you do as a post guy, or anybody, actually, when you're underneath the basket receiving a pass, is you come to the ball. The last 3 feet are for you, and that's exactly what Wesson did, and he got the foul. If he had just stayed back, the ball would have been taken by Brooks.
Now, I can tell you're excited by the way that Caleb Wesson has started this game, is playing so far.
I like when guys play really hard, and he has played really, really hard.
And he could do that at his size. No whistle. Saved in bounds. Yeah, was saved.
I got to take the referee's word for it.
Yeah.
He was closer than us, but that sure looked like he got banged off balance.
Wesson has maybe as big of an array of low post moves as anybody in the country.
And he's improving, and he'll continue to improve. Lose 20 more pounds, and you'll see a bunch.
Poole got cut off that time. Shot clock winding down. Charles Matthews knows it. Can he get a shot off? Yes. Tough one, though. Air ball.
That time they stayed with Poole and stayed tough. Look, with this particular lineup on the perimeter, make Charles Matthews shoot a 3. That's fine. Guard Livers, guard Poole on the perimeter, and get tough with him, and you'll be able to guard Michigan.
Quiet start for Charles Matthews. One of the captains of this team, one of the most important players on this number 5 Michigan team. And that's part of the reason why he got his hand in the passing lane.
Man, that was just a bad pass and great defense. Fundamental arm in the passing lane, easy.
There goes Poole. Quick ball movement. Livers tried to drive and was cut off. Poole steps behind the line. They lost him again. Got away with it.
They lost him because Wesson wanted Aarons to switch out to him. Aarons didn't pay attention to it and got beat.
There goes C.J. Jackson. Teskey was with him, though, the shot blocker. Barnes launches way off the mark.
Bad shot. Got a shot fake. The defense was too influential in that shot.
And Teskey beat everybody down the floor. Arns came over and maybe helped force that awkward shot.
Arns used the backboard.
Wesson tried to dunk it home, missed it. Ohio State trying to get organized on defense. Who has who?
Tired team. Nobody could get to him. Truthfully, both teams tired. That's why that shot was short.
We haven't had many whistles. We've had back and forth action, and Chris Holtman knows it.
Really good timeout. He needed another score in number 1, and he needed to get Wesson a break number 2.
So a quick break, just 30 seconds. Back after this.
I think Caleb Wesson has been sensational in this game. Started out 4 for 4, missed his last 4, but I don't care. This kid is battling on both ends. He's gone to the backboard. He's posted up strong. He's played through contact. Look at this step-in post against maybe the best post defender in the league. Fantastic so far by Caleb Wesson.
Let's go over to Molly McGrath.
Well, Wesson told me this rivalry is personal to him, and he is playing like it, guys. He grew up right outside of Columbus. His father, Keith, played for Ohio State, so he was raised to hate the Wolverines. And he told me every time he sees the Michigan M, he gets a knot deep in his stomach. I asked him, what's that knot? He said, hatred. He stressed that a win tonight would make their year, saying our struggles, that 5-game losing streak, all of that, it doesn't matter if we beat Michigan. And you can see he's playing like it, Dave.
See, I love that. That's what the Ohio State-Michigan should be. It's not much of a rivalry anymore in football because Ohio State just, with Urban Meyer, has absolutely dominated Michigan. But, hey, It's basketball. It's field hockey. It's baseball.
You'd gone too long without hate mail?
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. Best thing happened to Michigan football is Urban Meyer retiring.
Jackson draws a foul. It's been almost 5 minutes since Ohio State scored, so C.J. Jackson attacks the rim.
Then I asked you, has he shot the ball? This is the time when C.J. Jackson needs to play.
Yeah.
You know, the team is in a bit of disarray. He needs to settle them down, make these 2 free throws, and let's play defense.
So he gets 2 free throws. Good free throw shooter makes the first. College basketball, what do we call it? A quintuple header for you on Saturday? We got a lot of hoops. How about that on Saturday? St. John's, Duke, that gets it all started. Carolina, Louisville, that's a really good one. Louisville thumped them in Chapel Hill. Kentucky, Florida in the SEC. Then we turn the page in the Big Ten. East Lansing, the site, Michigan State, Indiana, and Tennessee, Texas A&M. Saturday.
Tennessee deserves the #1 ranking, I believe. I think Michigan's in the conversation. Duke, obviously. Virginia, fine. But to me, Tennessee has played with maturity and real toughness. I cannot wait to get to Gainesville. The game's going to be great, but I can't wait to get out of -9.
It is literally as cold as it's been in decades here in the upper Midwest. Brooks found Matthews. Shot clock winded down. Simpson from way outside, too strong, and C.J. Jackson, good defensive rebound.
Is what I say right now. Okay, who's going to shoot a 3? Maybe Iggy, maybe Livers. You're fine with it. Guard those 2 guys tough on the perimeter. Make somebody else shoot late clock.
And we're in the Big Ten, right? We're tough people up here in Ann Arbor. Classes are canceled for the next 2 days because it's going to be so cold. 2 days.
One of the places my son told me, Skeeps and Ricks. Be packed tonight.
No class.
Cold out, but students aren't staying in.
They'll be open. Jackson with the foul.
Jackson is a stud when he plays like that. Get low, get under Livers, don't settle for a jump shot, and drive it. I'm telling you, Jackson here last couple possessions, the difference.
Attention all Michigan students, for just the 3rd time in the last 40 years, the University of Michigan is canceling classes tomorrow and Thursday.
Bomba drop.
And for the next 2 hours, have some fun and make some noise!
Yeah, you think they were excited about that here in Ann Arbor? That was before the game. Sounded like a club in Las Vegas when they made the announcement.
Players, coaches, fans, students, they'll all be headed to the Christian Science Reading Room for these 2 days, the library.
Oh, no, you're not supposed to even go outside.
Oh.
They'll be just staying at home.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Scorekeepers and Ricks is what I'm told.
Somehow they made it here.
Yeah. They did bring buses, right? They want to make sure the kids are safe?
All joking aside, they are. You sort of have to. They let them inside the arena early. Usually they have the students line up before a game outside. Then they open the doors a couple hours ahead of time. Not today. Matthews for 3. Good.
Set up nicely by a drive by Xavier Simpson. Matthews did a great job of relocating to an open spot. Jallo fell asleep.
He has had a rough start to this game.
Yeah, Jallo.
He's got the ball here.
Played really well. Earned the start. Hasn't been great so far.
Shot clock winding down. Against that tough defense of the freshman, C.J. Jackson draws another foul. Well, coming up on our E-Trade halftime report, UVA survives the game before us in overtime. How about Texas needing a big win? They got a big win at home against Kansas.
They did need a big win, and Shaka's smart. I know it hasn't gone the way they've wanted. I know Texas fans are getting a little uncomfortable with him, but Shaka's a great coach, and I swear you give him enough time, something good will happen.
Jackson, well, the defense just opened up for him.
I'm telling you, he is a big-time player. Hasn't had the greatest year, but there are very few point guards I'd rather have than C.J. Jackson on the offensive end in particular.
And right at the moment where you said, hey, they need more of him, they've got more of him. Simpson, really good. Really, really good.
Can't play offense except driving to the rim when you need it and the hook shot. He's become a terrific offensive player for a guy that really can't play offense at the collegiate level. Great. at least the way it's normally played.
One of the best on-ball defenders in the country.
And one of the best leaders in the country.
Andre Wesson.
Great play by Iggy. Iggy recognized Wesson was wide open. There was a switch, and he sprinted out to influence the shot.
Okay, now he gets the reward on this end.
It's amazing what happens in basketball.
Hustle and play hard on the defensive side of the floor. Find an opening on the offensive end.
He was great on the defensive end, then sprinted down, and the ball just finds its way in. When you hustle, the ball rewards you. I say it all the time.
Is Michigan the best defense in the country? Jallo just had it ripped away.
They're in the conversation, no question. You always got to include Virginia, but this defense is really, really tight and good.
They might be there with the Cavs now.
No doubt.
Final minute of the first half. Simpson from the corner.
You give Simpson leeway to shoot that. Two reasons. One, he plays so hard and leads so well. And two, you want the defense to at least respect it.
Here's where in college we don't really get much of the 2-for-1.
Never. And you don't get a foul in the open court like most.
You do get 2-on-1. Matthews tipped in his own miss.
Yeah, it was interesting. Muhammad came down, and instead of going after the ball, he tried to body Matthews.
Loudest it's been all half. Final 10 seconds of the half. A 7-0 run for the Wolverines. Muhammad nowhere to go. Final 2 seconds from near midcourt. Jackson almost made it. I don't think the tip would have counted, and what a finish to the first half for the Wolverines.
Well, this is huge. The end of the half is so big in basketball, and that's the story of this game. Michigan started out playing well, going to Wesson, but too many turnovers by the Buckeyes.
Let's go over to Molly.
Coach, C.J. Jackson got going for Ohio State. What do you need to do against him defensively?
You know what? They're getting us in some switches. We want Xavier to stay on him, but he's getting multitude of screens, and then he's picking on some. He's getting underneath us. A couple times we left our feet. We just got to stay in front of them, make them score over us.
What does your offense need to do to keep them on their heels in the second half?
Well, they got us on our heels right now because they're pressing. They're playing zone. They're playing man. We got to pick that up quicker because we're really working with a really short shot clock right now, and we don't want it. We want a longer shot clock, so we got to get into our stuff quicker.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Dave.
All right, and thank you, Molly. 32-26, the halftime score after a 7-0 run to end the half. After this break, Andan Burke and Jay Williams will have halftime. And welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. We get ready to start the second half from Ann Arbor, Michigan. The Wolverines, with a 7-0 run to finish the first half, have a 32-26 lead. Dave Fleming back with Dan Dockich and Molly McGrath. First half stats tell part of the story. Ohio State actually shot the ball better than Michigan in the first half. Turnovers really hurt the Buckeyes. John Beilein, Michigan's coach, was concerned, though. He told Molly before halftime that he was concerned with the way they defended C.J. Jackson. Dan's going to demonstrate out on the court.
Well, he talked about getting low. C.J. Jackson was getting underneath. So here's what you do on a switch. A big guy has to first get solid with his base and have his hands above his elbows on a smaller guy. Livers was loose, he was upright, and he was kind of dancing. When you do that, the smaller guy can go wherever he wants. But if I'm low, I'm in a stance with a hand up and extended, then I can lock in and guard. Anything upright gets you beat, as C.J. Jackson did to Livers.
All right, an example of what Coach Beilein was talking about, what Dan is trying to demonstrate. Ohio State's done a good job of getting some of these mismatches, and then C.J. Jackson, especially in the latter stages of that first half, started to take advantage of it. Another example of what you were talking about, Dan.
Got to get low, and you got to be locked into a stance. Michigan usually has a really good stance, but sometimes when you switch and you're a bigger guy and a guard, you're kind of standing waiting to dodge instead of locked in, and I'm going to have my hands up. Make him shoot a jump shot over 6'8". That's fine.
In the last 10 minutes of the first half, that was the offense for the Buckeyes. Not much else.
Not in turnovers. Ball has to go in. If you're the Buckeyes, got to play through Wesson. set something up for C.J. Jackson. Defensively, if you're the Buckeyes, you got to guard Poole. I mean, you've got to eliminate Poole.
So we'll see. Ohio State at least is in this game. Michigan rather, has blown some people out in first halves this year. Michigan State's done the same thing too. The two powerhouse teams in this conference. An immediate whistle and a foul against the Buckeyes.
And that was Poole. What happened there? Poole really wanted to go. I heard him in the huddle talking about Poole. That's why I said that. He wanted to go, and then the handoff to Brazdeikis, and Wesson relaxed once Poole gave up the ball, and Brazdeikis started driving it.
20 on the shot clock. Simpson will inbound. There's Poole, catch and shoot. Short on the three.
That's what he's going to do this second half, and you have to be able to guard it. Wisconsin didn't beat him.
And a terrible pass by Jackson. Poole is right there to steal it away. Poole all the way, no good.
Well, he should have gave it up early. He'd have got it back.
But so sloppy with the ball, Ohio State. I think they might have gotten away with it. No. Michigan ball. Let's go over to Molly.
Well, Ohio State's Chris Holtmann usually prefers a man-to-man defense, but told me he's going to continue to employ his own in the second half, but he may adjust. He's just going to see how the flow of the game goes, but said our defense wasn't really our issue in the first half. It was sloppy offensive play and turnovers, and he wants a lot fixed there, but he said he's very happy with C.J. Jackson so far.
So far, thank you, Molly. The problem has not been fixed. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers here in the second half.
Really bad turnovers.
Bad.
I love what Wesson's doing in this game. I love Xavier Simpson, but Wesson has just really competed. And you got to play through him if you're Ohio State.
Simpson had it knocked away from behind. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Wolverines.
Well, look for a little bit of a lob here, maybe a screen for Teske, throw it up. That's a good call. I happen to be watching that. Musa Jallow, Matthews was trying to come back. Jallow was holding, and Matthews tried to back cut, and Jallow kept holding. Watch number 2 right here. He's got his hands. He's holding him, and he cuts, and he holds him again.
Now you even grab part of the jersey.
All you can do is play underneath him, and he's not doing anything.
So that helps Michigan a lot. They were having a hard time getting the ball in. There was only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Now a little extra time. Teske just couldn't get firm position.
It was a battle royale down low, and Poole didn't recognize it. As you said, Teske didn't have his feet under him.
Guess who did get good position?
I'm telling you. High school coaches, college coaches, the clips of this kid, Caleb Wesson, standing in, fantastic. Look at this. Look what the position is. I mean, he just dominating Teske with his hips. It's not his upper body, it's his hips.
All right, I'm going to qualify what I'm saying. Muhammad off the inbound play. Good look, couldn't finish. John Teske is one of the most improved players in the country. He's having a great year, been particularly good lately. He is getting whipped in this game.
A little bit. I mean, that's off a foot.
Yeah, I think
that's off a foot.
That's a break for the Wolverines. Now Brazdeikis was out of bounds.
Out of bounds, Ohio State basketball.
Can't dribble it off your own
How
foot.
do you miss that call?
I don't know. Hey, Bo Borowski's, I call him 99.9%. He's good 99.9%. Little slippage right there.
Nobody's perfect, not even us. Wesson to Wesson, yeah. Older brother to little brother, who kept that pivot foot down but just could not score over the big man.
You can't dribble and then start pivoting. You have to pivot, then dribble.
Good hand by C.J. Jackson.
Save the bucket. You can't get the ball, dribble it, watch here, and then pivot your way out. He dribbles. Now he's going to try to pivot his way out. Teske's too solid. See how his shoulders are squared? See how his hands are active? You have to pivot and move Teske and then come back against where he moved.
Well, Teske heard me. That was a big-time play. Matthews again against Jallow, got the ball, had it stripped away.
C.J. Jackson with a great play. Matthews cut over the top of Jallow. C.J. Jackson was guarding out of bounds, came and stripped it.
Wesson to Wesson, inside out from older brother to little brother, who hits his second three.
Just invert it.
Inverted.
Right? Just let the little Wesson go to the post, the big Wesson come out.
3-point game. Buckeyes so much sloppiness with the turnovers, and yet they're in the game.
That was a really good cut. Cannot do it. Protect inside out. Nobody should be able to cut to the basket that open.
Efficient game for the freshman, Ignas Brazdeikis. Now Wesson hits the deck. Offensive foul, though, at the ball.
Offensive foul.
C.J. Jackson's smart, playing a really good game here. Guarding the inbounder, doesn't stand. You know what he does? He comes and makes a play. Watch, Jackson's right here. Now watch him come. Don't stand, guys. There's something to do always. Get in position, get in the middle of the lane, and next thing you know, it leads to a three. That's a 5-point play C.J. Jackson helped create. Don't stand when you play basketball. There's something to do always.
Poole with Jackson right on top of him. Well, Wesson switched to help out. Michigan, though, could not get an open look. Ohio State's defense has been pretty darn solid.
Yeah, really good.
From the corner, Matthews against Andre Wesson, right on top of him, and he blocked the shot.
Boy, Andre Wesson squared up, took away the baseline, took away the middle, blocked the shot. You can't do it any better. Same inversion.
Knocked out of bounds off of Michigan.
Tell you what, Charles Matthews did a great job defensively of fighting Andre Wesson because they were looking for the same thing. Wesson on the block, the little one, out to the big one.
Well, Michigan State's 13-game win streak came to an end. Their 21-game Big Ten win streak came to an end. So if Michigan can win this game, they will tie their rival Spartans atop the Big Ten standings.
It's unbelievable what those two schools have been able to do.
They have dominated this league for 2 years in a row. Washington, the freshman runner, no good.
Nobody rotated back. C.J. Jackson stood and watched.
Easy explanation.
And Jordan Poole sprinted hard.
Wesson with that little spin move. Left hand, though, no good. Not close.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he gave up his dribble. If he'd have kept his dribble, he'd have spun and gone and dunked it.
Simpson went right by Washington, missed the layup. Great move by Xavier Simpson, just didn't finish it off.
I love Xavier Simpson. I love watching him play. I think he is so much fun to watch.
For a guy who is not a shooter. Andre Wesson.
Look at them run. Look at Brazdeikis run.
They're
Good
calling
call.
that offensive foul.
You saw it too?
Yep.
You liked it. I'm telling you, Washington sprinted down, got to the arc, stood there. Brazdeikis tried to jump sideways. Usually you get that call, Big D. Not this time. Fantastic, because Brazdeikis was flying down the floor. Washington's there. Brazdeikis is coming. Slid to the side, doesn't matter. He was there. Good call. He was there.
You know, I think it's pretty amazing. You think of the history in this conference of schools elsewhere, but it's been the state of Michigan that has dominated the Big Ten over the last 2 years. The Spartans, great regular season champs last year. Michigan's now won 2 Big Ten tournament championships in a row.
Look at that, 32-2. People forget Michigan State was 16-2 in an unbelievable Big Ten last year. I mean, you're talking about Ohio State at 15-3. John Beilein, I think he's the best basketball coach in the country. And if there's going to be an argument, I'll give you Coach K, but I'll give you Izzo too. I think the two of them as good as any coaches in the country right now and better than 99.9% of them.
Washington on the drive. Nice move.
Opened it up. A little different. No Caleb Wesson, so spread the floor. Washington had a little room. He's a willing scorer from here in Michigan.
So he knows about this rivalry. Smaller lineup on the floor for the Buckeyes when Caleb Wesson is on the bench. They don't have a lot of other size.
And there's no Teske.
There's Livers for 3.
I'm telling you, they have been so slow to get the Livers. There was a switch. Washington got there late. Livers made him pay.
So this is the biggest lead for the Wolverines. They're up 8, 39-31. And some important minutes for the Buckeyes trying to hang in this game without their star post player. They're going to lean on this guy who got fouled by Jordan Poole. Caleb Wesson watching from the bench. Our women's Thursday night showcase this week, number 2 UConn in Louisville to take on number 3 the Cardinals at home with what should be a great atmosphere. Thursday, 7 Eastern on ESPN. It'll stream live on the app. Big game on the women's side. Big game of the Big Ten here. Ohio State had a 5-game losing streak, went on the road to Nebraska and won to snap the losing skid. Missed shot. Jallo hustled after the loose ball, got on it. The arrow favors the Buckeyes.
Pretty smart by Jallo. Jallo knew. He knew that the arrow favored and didn't call a timeout. Really smart, great hustle.
So Ohio State ball, as big as that win was in Lincoln for them, this would be much bigger if they could take down number 5.
Oh, this would be huge. And, you know, one of the things I like about Michigan, Brazdeikis is a freshman, offensive player, all that, but, man, does he guard. He keeps his body in front. He is so strong, tough.
Woods against Matthews. Good defense from Charles Matthews. Better offense, I guess.
We were just talking off air about Woods, 12 points a game at Wake Forest. He can get the ball in the bucket over 1,000 points. Where has he been? That was big time.
He has been so quiet so many games for Ohio. He's had some big games.
Oh, he was huge at Creighton. I mean, just absolutely unloaded on him.
Simpson 3. Short, followed his own miss, and ripped the ball away, but that's another jump ball. That was a pretty quick whistle in terms of the joint possession.
What did legendary graduate assistant tell you about Simpson today? Great hands, strongest hands in the world, where you're going to see it right here. Washington, no block out, and Simpson just rips it away.
Andrew Dakich told us that Xavier Simpson had the strongest hands he had ever played against. He had played against a lot of good, strong players.
I can't pick it up, but everybody talks about Simpson holding when he drives, using his offhand to hold a defender down. I can't pick it up.
Well, maybe they're really quick, too, so you can't see it.
There, he tried it.
He did try it, and he found a little opening.
Boy, that was nice. He straightened Wesson up, and he went and used the other side by staying lower than Wesson.
I think he did what Andrew told us about.
Hey, will somebody hire Andrew Dakich to get him off the payroll?
there's just a small cry for help to all the hoops coaches in America. Andrew's got a great future.
No, Bo. No.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Hey, look. Poole is
He's smart.
He's really smart.
I think Andre Wesson just found out that foul was called against him. That's his third personal.
Man, hey, look. Poole isn't the strongest guy, but he's not this week, where a touch knocks you down WWE style. Come on. I would be a bad referee because I would call that a flop and a technical. I hate flopping. I love that he did it. Good for him.
I mean, it's one thing when you try to fool an official who's away from the play, can't see it. That was right in front and center. He did a good job. He sold the call.
Absolutely. You better guard him.
Poole for the 3. Yes. Washington, quick release. There's an answer.
How about that for the freshman? And right now, if I'm Chris Holtman, I'm going off on Washington. Because for some reason, he's looking at the ball, not staying with Poole in their zone. Inexcusable. You got to know Poole.
44-36, Michigan leads. Dan Dakich, I've been waiting for this. Let's go inside the play.
You know, you talk about a zone needs to move in sync. Right here, too low. Right here, you're taking both away. But as Poole moves, you got to move with him, come up, and then play inside. This is what happens when you have people in weird positions. Andre Wesson not used to playing in the zone. The one guy that's going to kill you is right there. It's Poole. It's number 2. And when you're late to him, it gives up 3. Simple. Bring the post guy in the middle up, Andre Wesson. Move in from the weak side, farthest guy from the ball, and guard Poole.
And don't you think part of that is that point that you were making? They're not a zone team. They don't play a lot of zone. They're trying it. They have a big injury that's lost them some size and strength. It's hurt them.
And Andre Wesson playing as that position in his zone, probably not 5 times in practice.
So now Caleb Wesson comes back in the game. Teskey did not shoot the 3. Poole's got the big man on him and threw it away. Luther Muhammad with the steal. Can the Buckeyes use their numbers advantage? Nice shot fake from Washington. Missed the 3. Jallo offensive rebound. Jackson stepped back to make sure it was a three. Two great looks.
Well, that's bad luck for Jackson. He made a nice stroke after a shot fake, had it halfway down. But if you're going to come back in this game and you're Ohio State, you got to get stops. You got to keep the ball in front of you.
Simpson against Caleb Wesson.
Trying to get it to Teskey against Washington.
Brazdakis from the corner, three.
They lost the game when Brazdakis couldn't get a bucket. He is so tough. He did it twice in the second half when Indiana was trying to make a comeback, and he did it right there. You could feel it was a big moment.
He went 0 for at Wisconsin. I don't think that's going to be happening again.
No.
Washington will try another one. He is not shy.
This has been the problem with Ohio State. Lack of consistent shooting throughout the course of a game. Get hot for a minute or two, then it goes away.
Simpson went right by Washington, who stripped it away. Not all the way, though. Livers in and out. That one looked like it was going down.
It did. It looked perfect. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Ohio State, I'm keeping the ball moving. Not letting it stop. I don't want to play against a set defense.
Jallo, way too strong.
How many good looks?
A lot. And then a foul against Caleb Wesson. Well, those shots are going to have to go down for the Buckeyes against number 5 Michigan. Back right after this. All right, it's time for our Capital One fan vote. And the question is, assuming Tennessee, Duke, UVA right now locked in as number 1 seeds, who would be that 4th number 1 seed? Gonzaga, Kentucky, Michigan, Michigan State. And the results are in. And our voters say the Wolverines. Do you agree?
I do. I do, but now it's early. I put Michigan State, Kentucky looking good. We're going to be there Saturday. I can't wait. They're pounding Vanderbilt over on ESPN.
Yeah, if you're looking for a more competitive game, we have a more competitive game. Xavier Simpson with that running hook that he loves so much.
He was practicing it at halftime. He would not go to the huddle until he made one.
He shot 3 or 4 of them in this game. He's made 1. Ohio State, last few minutes, not been good for the Buckeyes. Woods trying to get the ball inside. I mean, Teskey's making it harder on Caleb Wesson since the early parts of this game. That's good defense there. Jackson got rid of it, missed the shot from short range, and almost missed another one, but it goes down.
Second time Jackson's made a really nice cut to find himself, got the rebound, knocked it in. Now, if you're Michigan, you spread it, and I think you're going to go to some high ball screen stuff with Teskey. There it is.
He set 2 screens to give the freshman an opening, just didn't hit the 3.
Nobody got back.
Wesson runs the floor, and Xavier Simpson knocked the ball away. Wow! There are those strong hands. Pull, no good. Man, this place was about to explode.
And it should have. That's a little Tayshaun Prince back in the day, smallest guy.
That's an offensive foul.
Stop it, I was watching that.
Andre Wesson's feeling picked on right now. Strong hands from the little guy.
Strong
Xavier
hands
Simpson.
and a great attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, what an attitude by Simpson. Wesson snuck behind. Simpson didn't give up. And with the left hand, knocked it away. Watch this. All great shot blockers can use both hands.
That was a terrific play.
So much want-to out of Simpson. So much leadership. I just love watching him play.
Brazdakis with the right hand. Rebound tapped around. Woods tried to save it in bounds and couldn't. Did you know that in this game, Xavier Simpson has 10 assists? 10 assists, no turnovers.
I did. The stat sheet's right here in front of me.
Okay. That ties a career high. We got 8:40 still to go.
I feel like he's going to break it. If he can drive it and find Poole, you feel like Poole's going to hit his next shot.
Can he find somebody to make a shot for him? Give him that assist number 11. It doesn't count if you make it yourself. Whoa! Arns for three, short. Caleb Wesson going to be whistled for the foul.
You don't exactly draw up offense if you're Michigan.
Wow, and we got double technicals coming. And Wesson and Simpson started it. Here's the rivalry. Poole got in there. Wesson barked it in after the technicals had been issued. So Caleb Wesson, maybe the most important player for Ohio State, got called for the personal and then got a technical. Xavier Simpson got one too.
Well, I think that what has happened here is there's a lot of frustration by Ohio State, and then you add the barking like, well, Poole doesn't need to be there. And you know what? And Teskey's kind of getting him away, but you don't ever touch an opponent because you're going to get that reaction and it's going to escalate. You get your own guy and you get him out of there. Nobody needs to be a peacemaker, and nobody needs to come in and put any hands on an opponent. You get your own guy, get him out, and it's solved. Teskey wasn't meaning any harm. Once you put your hand on an opponent to separate him, he's going to knock it off.
And those first two technicals had already been called, so now the official's taking a look to see if there's anything extra. And you see John Higgins. I think he was the one who called the technicals. He's got the ball at the top of the screen. Yeah. On Simpson and Caleb Wesson.
Simpson was doing right. Simpson barked, and he was walking away, and nothing was going to happen. Poole got in there, and I don't think Poole was trying to cause any problem, but there's no need to get in. Just walk away, no problem.
Assuming that those are the only two technicals that come out of this, that hurts Ohio State a lot more than it does Michigan. Jordan Poole does not lack personality.
Jordan Poole came over in front of us to start the second half to take the ball out, dancing and singing.
What was John Beilein's line after he hit what is going to go down as one of the most famous shots in Michigan hoops history, the buzzer beater in the NCAA tournament against Houston? John Beilein had a famous line about Jordan Poole.
Yeah, it wasn't he doesn't lack for confidence, but it was something along that nature.
An overdose of swag.
Yeah.
Not just a dose, an overdose. And that's what they love about him here, and it translates into his game on the court.
Now, Dave, what you have to do, both coaches, gotta make sure it doesn't escalate again. Gotta make sure that, okay, everybody in front of their coach right now is saying, yeah, we're cool, but you go out there, and next thing you know, somebody touches somebody, and here we got a real problem.
And we're all waiting, coaches included, to find out what the end result is. So John Higgins will come over. You going to take your headset off?
I think
so.
Talk
to John? Okay. You do that. We'll get word. So the coaches get the explanation. Now we get the explanation.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
John Higgins said, I got 2 technical fouls. I'm not sure who they're on. There's 2 on Ohio State, and there's 2 on Michigan. He goes, number 2's got 1, and I'm not sure who the other one is on Michigan. But what we're going to do is we're just going to shoot the 1-and-1 on the common foul and get going. He was not sure who the technical fouls were on.
It does matter because they count as personal fouls at the college level.
34, there's a technical on, and Simpson, there's a technical on. Wasn't clear who the other technicals were on.
Yeah, well, if he said 2, so we know Poole and Simpson on Michigan. We know Caleb Wesson on Ohio State.
Each team has 2 technicals.
Right.
Simpson for sure.
Yeah.
Caleb Wesson for sure.
So those are the only 2 we know for sure.
Technical foul issued to the Ohio State Buckeyes, number 32, Keyshawn Woods, his second personal foul.
Keyshawn Woods, one of the technicals.
Number 3, Xavier Simpson, and 15, John Teskey.
Teskey, not cool. That's the front end of the 1-and-1 free throws from the Caleb Wesson over the back foul. Got it? And now he's got 4 because that technical counts as a second personal foul. He has to take a seat. How long can he stay out? We don't know. Not long, maybe.
I don't think you're not putting a time frame on it. You're going by feel of the game, and if a bucket goes here or a turnover, then you got a real problem. You got to bring him in.
The turnovers are just killing Ohio State in this game, and give Michigan's defense a lot of credit. Teskey still in the game with no Caleb Wesson. We'll see if they can get him the ball down low. The overdose of swag is going to the free throw line.
He crossed him over, and the whole crowd did what guys do at AU games. Oh! And then he went and got fouled. Jordan Poole, the king of swag.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Celebrating their hoops team, celebrating the fact they have no classes for the next 2 days because of the historic cold. 52-38 Michigan over their rivals Ohio State. Let's go over to Molly McGrath.
Well, John Beilein trying to calm down his team in that timeout after all those technicals. Things were getting chippy. He said, this is a rivalry game. I love your passion, but you need to get back to playing Michigan basketball. Play hard, but there's a bigger emphasis on playing smart down the stretch.
That's what you have to do. You have to remind your kids, look, we get it. Michigan hates Ohio State. Ohio State hates Michigan. That's cool, but you got to keep your head and just play for the next 7:34, and then you'll feel really good.
Caleb Wesson sitting on the bench, still got those 4 fouls, part of those technicals that were assessed about a minute ago. Michigan starting to pull away. This has been a tough guy game, and Ohio State's done a lot of things really well in this game. They've done a few things very poorly.
Can't make shots.
Okay, that's a big one.
That's the biggest. I mean, as you said earlier, they had really good looks. Just can't knock it down consistently, and really that's been all year.
Muhammad, shot clock winding down. Michigan's defense all over him. No good.
Michigan just switched every exchange between Ohio State and got out after the shooter.
Poole almost lost it, did lose it.
Well, that was good defense. He was jacking around with the ball, and next thing you know, in front, Washington got a hand on it.
It's a little sign of improvement for the freshman Dwayne Washington because defense has not been his calling card.
How about that turnover? Another jump in the air, nowhere to go, throw it to the wrong team, not get back on defense.
And then Matthews beats everybody down the court.
There's 11 assists for Xavier Simpson.
That's number 11, career high.
He's dominated this game. He has been absolutely fantastic in this basketball game, both ends.
With 9 points.
Yeah.
You can dominate a basketball game without scoring. You can.
And he does. He came as a big-time scorer. I mean, he was a big-time scorer in Lima, Mr. Basketball, and I'm telling you, he has – well, it's not his game in college. It's an addition to his game.
Andre Wesson with a foul. Count the basket.
That was a great pass by C.J. Jackson. Fantastic. Because C.J. Jackson just slipped it underneath the arms of the defender. Watch this pass.
Team 7, Ohio State now in the
really good.
The line and shooting 124. Andre Wesson.
Was good. Now Andre Wesson completes the three-point play. Jaden Ledee, the freshman, comes back in. We saw him in the early minutes of this one.
Small lineup. You're going to see spread here. You're going to see at the end of the possession, if things don't go well, Livers in the corner for a three.
Okay.
Now, there's going to be a lot of activity before that happens.
There's Livers in the corner. There's your three. He ain't bad, folks. Livers or my partner.
Justin Arms.
You're the guy who taught Romo how to do that.
Been doing that for a while. I'm not going to lie to you.
Now what? We won't ask you to do it every possession.
You're going to see pull, I think.
Well, they do. I mean, why not spread it out? Work the clock. Poole's waiting on the right wing.
Oh, man, he had him, too.
He had him.
He had Poole. If he would have kept going that way, and Poole would have knocked it in, that'd be hard to live with.
Thank goodness Simpson took that shot. Muhammad came up short. Here's Brazdakis.
How hard does he go? Man, look at the defense. All got squelched in. Now you can back it out, and you got nothing. I mean, I'm sorry. You've got no pressure against you. That's what I meant by nothing.
I mean, sometimes don't you have to teach freshmen how to play that hard or let them learn at this level?
We see it all over the country. We're seeing it in Indiana with Romeo Langford. We're seeing it in every instance. Coaches are battling freshmen to play hard.
That guy came ready to play hard. Matthews for three. I may have overstepped my bounds today. I was on with Dari and Tom on the radio doing an interview about college hoops in this game, and I said, you know, Brazdakis, he doesn't have the physical talent tools of Zion Williamson, but he plays with that same attitude.
That's not overstepping bounds. That's the truth right there.
Final 4 minutes here. Michigan has wrestled control away. Buckeyes were up early. We're playing really well in the early minutes. Simpson, another beautiful crossover, and there's that runner.
I don't clap much, but you got to clap for that, Dave.
Take it, Kareem. Open three, in and out. Ball finds its way to Ledee, and Arns scores. It's my favorite shot in college basketball.
Mine too.
It is. He never used to do it. By the way, we got to get him a rebound, don't we? We're not rooting. We're not, but he deserves a triple-double the way he's played in this game.
Absolutely. You kidding me?
He has played his tail off.
Look, in my world, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to say I'm rooting for one team or the other, so I might as well root for the triple-double.
Brazdakis, meanwhile, draws the foul. Muhammad didn't think so.
You take this.
This is my favorite shot in college hoops. A 6-foot point guard who's not a great shooter has learned how to do that.
Unbelievable.
Can't make that up.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Adnan. Say it, Nevada. Adnan got it right. They're one of the best teams in the country. So is Michigan. Xavier Simpson leading the way. 1 rebound away from a triple-double. And I am curious, Molly McGrath, over near that Michigan huddle, are the Wolverines aware Simpson needs just 1 rebound?
Well, I asked the coaching staff about that. They are fully aware that he is 1 rebound shy from a triple-double. John Beilein even said to him, I need you to take it home for us. Simpson was speaking really passionately to his teammates, pointing to his heart, saying we need to finish this thing.
Including just grab at least 1 rebound. Finish it off, do all the other things.
I don't think did they tell him, Molly? Did they say, hey, you go get a rebound?
No, they didn't say that, but they're keeping track of it themselves. I think that they're just trying to spur a lot of effort and heart from him in these final minutes.
They will tell him with about 1.5 minutes to go, because I guarantee you somewhere, sometime in John Beilein's coaching career, he's lost a 16-point lead. Now it's 18. A little tougher, but with 3 minutes, I'm telling you, and it never leaves you. So if this gets to 1.5 minutes, he doesn't have one, I expect him in the game.
Caleb Wesson has sat out since those double technicals. The D runner, he rushed that one. And Simpson got it. And listen, everybody knows it. That's good awareness by the fans here.
It really is.
A triple-double.
Smallest guy in the court.
First one of his career. Derek Walton had one a few years ago.
Youngstown State. How much fun is it going to be watching Cassius Winston,
Oh, man.
And Xavier Simpson.
2 times in the last, 2 weeks of Big Ten play? Yeah, they got the big stat board here. 6th in the history. It's a great history. Think of all the players who've worn those colors here in Ann Arbor.
I cannot think of a kid more deserving because he's given himself totally to the team.
And no offense, I mean, Derek Walton did it. Nice. Do it against Youngstown State. You do it against Ohio State.
Hey, let me tell you something. Derek Walton did the same thing. Derek Walton threw himself totally into the team after that plane crash a couple of years ago. Derek Walton, one of the fantastic, great players in Michigan history.
Woods.
Playing in Turkey right now.
Yeah, couldn't get the role. He may make his way back to the NBA at some point. Out of bounds off of Michigan.
Got a text from Mo Wagner halfway through the game. Told me I need to give more love to Xavier Simpson.
Mo,
baby.
I hope you didn't turn the game off.
How can you not give love to Xavier Simpson? Love that kid. Used to come to my basketball camp at Bowling Green a long time ago when he was like 8.
He's come a long way.
Well, we helped him.
Now he gets a steal. 3-on-2. How about another assist?
Beeline gonna have to figure out when to get him out, let this place explode in adoration.
I would recommend soon. Makes for good TV. Andre, a little fadeaway, got fouled. Maybe now, maybe. I think they might.
They are.
All right, they're going to wait for one free throw from Andre Wesson. And then in between, we're just going to let you listen in to how this crowd appreciates Xavier Simpson. Here we go.
Don't hurt him.
Yeah, you need him. And John Beeline did a cool thing there. 1 for 1, then get everybody else out of the game. That was well done.
Really well done. Much deserved.
That's what college hoops is about. Let your fans enjoy the moment. Let the kid enjoy it in a rivalry game. Ohio State's not enjoyed much in the second half.
Checking in for the Buckeyes, number 2.
They came ready to play tonight and just got blitzed by one of the very best teams in the country.
You know you got to play for 40 minutes both ends. You have a lull offensively, they're not going to have a lull. Defensively, you relax. Somebody's going to hit a couple threes. I mean, it's just the way it is. Michigan is absolutely rolling. Ohio State has a chance now, though. They have a schedule.
Yep.
Favorable.
Opens up to Julius. Maybe he'll be next in line. No whistle. Nice lob. And Ladie finishes.
1 minute to play regulation. 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Please refrain from throwing any objects in the stands or on the playing surface. Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
You mentioned the Spartans and the Wolverines. I mean, it's clear the Big Ten is deep, it's strong, it's good. But those are the 2 best teams. There's that tier, and then there's everybody else. Don't you think that's clear?
You dissing the Boilermakers?
Purdue did look great, and Purdue's hot. I still think there's a separation.
I do too. I think there's a separation. Michigan State ran into a buzzsaw. Great win today for Michigan. Congratulations, Xavier Simpson. Much deserved. Triple-double.
Yeah, what a night for him, and in the end, what a night for Michigan. Never gets old for these folks to do it against the Buckeyes. There you go, the final seconds and the final score. Xavier Simpson, as Dan said, the littlest guy on the floor with the 6th triple-double in the history of Wolverines basketball. Their 20th straight win at home. That's the 3rd longest streak ever for the Wolverines. For Dan Dockich, for Molly McGrath, Dave Fleming saying so long. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile continues. We got Nevada, UNLV, but first, back to studio in Adnan.